This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. My name is Tom Alexander, and joining us on today's show, very excited, it is Bradley and Nikki Bozeman. And for you sports fans out there, I think you probably might be familiar with Bradley Bozeman. He is the left guard for the Baltimore Ravens, and Baltimore's 8-2 right now going into tonight's game. By the time you're listening to this, they may be 9-2. So that's a big deal. Bradley, Nikki, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It's really great to have you. And I got to tell you, the foundation that you guys have started, it's just a great idea. The whole idea of anti-bullying, which is so important today because we hear so many terrible stories about bullying and a lot of times the very, very sad outcomes of how bullying can affect young people. Tell us a little bit about the origin of this whole idea and what it's meant.
Yeah, so Bradley and I kind of realized that we had a common ground as far as being bullied when we were younger. And so we kind of just wanted to go out. It kind of started with just nonchalantly going to a few schools, kind of telling our story. And we got into these schools and just the stories from the kids and all of their, just what they were willing to share and how much they put their hearts out there. Mm-hmm. We kind of got to the third school and we were like, all right, this is our purpose. Like, this is what we need to go do. So we're at about 65 to 70 schools now that we've done in the past year. And we target really middle schools, but we've done everything as low as like third grade to high school. And we just go and we share our story. And really the ultimate goal is giving these kids a voice. A lot of the times we hear, like, we didn't realize this was happening in our school or the person next to me or a professional athlete. So a lot of the times it is just giving those kids a voice where they didn't think that they had one.
When you go to these schools, do you find that the response from the kids is just, are they really locked into the message? Are they really interested? I know sometimes there can be an awkwardness of talking about it, bringing it up. What's the response been?
It's different per school, and it differs by what grades you talk to. So I think us sharing our personal stories, it kind of starts out pretty light, and then it gets pretty heavy, and I think that the kids respect that we're real and honest with them if they are of the age to kind of appreciate that. And we kind of make it very serious, and when we do open up the floor, we control the room and make it very serious. So I think that helps a lot, and it helps people feel secure and willing to share. And honestly, we were kind of worried, if the principals are there, the teachers are there, that they're not going to share or say anything. But people have been wanting to share and just felt like this was their opportunity. So that's been really appreciative. And we really try to make it like a safe place where they are able to share. So I think it's different per school, but overall it's been very receptive and willing to kind of put themselves out there.
Nikki, you've played big-time basketball yourself at the University of Alabama, and so team sports, you're both team sports people from college, before college, obviously, and of course, Bradley, you're playing professionally now. In sports, part of the culture can get a little, a little chippy, little testy, particularly as you kind of rise in the ranks and we're all familiar with trash talking and all that stuff. How do you sort of view that from a professional level or even in college to the message you're trying to tell these kids? I mean, is there an awkwardness or a balance there that it needs to be struck?
For me, it's about going out and playing the game. I'm not a big trash talker. I go out, I do my job, I do what I'm supposed to do. I'm a physical guy. I play hard, and all inside of the rules of football. So I don't think I ever really put myself in that situation where, it's like, oh man, what would these kids be saying? I go out there and play the game how it's supposed to be played. So.
Yeah. And so when you hear it, let's say you hear it from the other side, you just let it just roll off your back.
Right, for sure. You can't control what everybody says. So it's there's definitely guys that like to trash talk. That's part of their game. They try to get in your head. But for me, it's just I just go out there and play the game. That's my role, and I go and do my job, and I can't control what other people say or do. So
there's more in a moment.
RV owners, it's no secret that those manufacturers' warranties just don't cut it. Get the peace of mind you deserve and step up to the RV Advisor Extended RV Warranty Plan. No covered claim is ever denied with low to no deductibles. To learn more, visit thervadvisor.com or call 833-229-0911. That's 833-229-0911. We're speaking with Bradley Bozeman and Nikki Bozeman, and they have the Nikki Bozeman Foundation, the Bradley and Nikki Bozeman Foundation. This helps children, and they go to speak with children about bullying. And we're the elephant in the room is the RV here, folks, because this is an RV show. But we need to address that. Obviously, you guys love to RV, and obviously when you're not playing football, Bradley, it's RV time. You get to do some traveling and get around the country. How did that start?
So we actually live in a fifth wheel full time. So we've been in here since April, and we're planning to RV or fifth wheel for full time for the next 2 years. So we'll be a total of 3 years. And the Baltimore market is ridiculous for housing, and we were paying upwards of $3,000 a month to rent a home that we loved. Don't get me wrong, but it was a 2-bedroom, style. It wasn't huge, and we were like, why are we doing this? So we went out and we got a beautiful fifth wheel, and we're on a beautiful campground right outside of the city in the country part of the city or of the town.
Yeah.
And we absolutely love it. Our dogs love it. And so then we really were like, hey, obviously it helps because in the NFL there's not a lot of job security.
Yeah.
So, it kind of takes that stress off of, oh my gosh, we need to sell our house, we need to pack up all our stuff. Nope, you just hook that sucker to the back of the truck and you go to the next city. So
that's terrific.
It's great.
Yeah, boy, you may start a trend here in the NFL. Maybe other players will look at you and say, I think they're doing it right. That it makes a lot of sense. Again, you said it, the security. And it's a business, right? So you never know if you're going to get traded or whatever's going to happen. And, you never have to worry about going to look for something new, right? You've got it, you just hitch it up and off you go.
Exactly. That's our plan. So hopefully we don't have to move it. So hopefully stay around Baltimore for a while.
Well, I think the way the team's doing and the way you're playing, looks like I think they're going to need you around for a while. You got some business to take care of.
Right. We hope so for sure.
Yeah. And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. I mean, you guys are obviously having a really, really good season in Baltimore. I don't know if there's a real clear-cut team this year. We always hear, every year we always hear about the Patriots in the AFC, right? I think there's a lot of room for some teams to make some serious noise in the postseason.
Right, for sure. I think you're correct about that. I mean, a lot of good teams are playing really good ball right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
Tell me a little bit about the schools that if you could find, if there's one story that you can sort of share, and maybe a kid came up to you and said, "Thank you. This what you said really made an impact." Is there some kind of a takeaway story that you've both experienced?
Honestly, we have a lot of stories, and that's kind of why we're so passionate about it. And just for one example, we had a girl stand up in a middle school and just say, look, I flat out have tried to commit suicide twice.
Wow.
And I mean, honestly, I tell people and they think I'm crazy, but the norm is everyone in the whole auditorium, gym, classroom, whatever, is in tears by the end of it because of the realness that happens and that is shared. And she just said, hey, I wasn't happy with myself. I was bullied online constantly, and I couldn't find an out, and I thought that was my out. but I leaned on, words of encouragement like you guys have and my parents, and, I am doing better and stuff like that. But she was really just open about it. And there's multiple of hers. I mean, was another guy that I think he proclaimed, I think it was gay is what he said. So he was outwardly gay, and he said, my parents, my family doesn't accept me. I get made fun of heavily at school, and, I've thought about taking my own life. And so it's every race, every gender, every sexuality. People are like, oh, do you go to low-income schools? I'm like, honey, it's at low-income schools, it's at high-income schools, it's at the best school in the state. It is happening, and it happens every day. And there was a middle schooler that just died and committed suicide here in Baltimore. She was in one of the best school districts in the state. So it literally spreads across every race, gender, denomination. It's honestly everyone. And so some of the stories the kids have shared is why we're so passionate about it.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing, and it's wonderful that you're doing that. And I think, you said it. It certainly doesn't play favorites. It's across the board. You said, wealthy schools, poorer schools, different denomination, whatever it is, it's there. And I think the common theme is a very skewed sense of superiority, right? I mean, it's the idea of I'm going to make myself feel better by picking on someone else. And, it's an age-old problem. I mean, I'm twice as old, a little more than twice as old as you folks. And I remember it very well as a young man. We didn't have social media back then, so it wasn't as pronounced as it is now, or it's just everywhere, but it was there. And there are things that occur in your life that you take with you your whole life. I can remember things that happened to me in 4th and 5th grade that were not fun, and I still think about them today. And so this is such a great thing you guys are doing. It's awesome. And to have two athletes, two great college athletes, and Bradley, in your case now, a professional athlete, to go out there and speak with kids to make an impact. Wow. It's just impressive, and hats off to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're really passionate about it, and me and Nikki, we were always the great athletes or anything like that. When I was growing up, I looked like Augustus Gloop from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I was really, I was a really easy target to be picked on. So that's where all mine started, and luckily I was able to get into the football realm and kind of grow out of that. So
let me ask you then, Bradley, did it sort of inspire you? Was I'm not going to let these name callers or whatever it was going on that was happening to you, did it drive you to be better, to show what was the motivation? What was the takeaway for you when you were bullied?
Yeah, me and Nikki, we always talk about, find something that you're passionate about, find something that you love, and, take all that anger and all that frustration and put it into that, because we can't control what other people say or do to you. You can only control what you do. Mm-hmm. And to take, whether it's football or music or basketball or singing or whatever it may be, it's just put your passion into that and let all that frustration and anger be the driving force behind that, and turn that into something beautiful and wonderful that you can do and you can take with you throughout the rest of your life.
Yeah. Well, you can't improve on perfection, and you just captured it perfectly. And thank you. Thanks for what you're doing. To both of you, it means a lot. If people are interested, they can go to BradNikkiBozeman.com. That's Brad and then Nikki spelled Nikki, Bozeman, BOZEMAN. BradNikkiBozeman.com to learn more, to support this movement, to help out. It's fantastic. Last question for you, and this is just a kind of a crystal ball question. Down the road, long after you've won championships and all that stuff, Bradley, you got trophies and everything. What are you gonna continue the RV lifestyle after retirement? You think, is it something you'd like to do?
Yeah, we love to camp and RV, and it's so much fun. And we're actually doing a cross-country trip with our foundation this off-season, starting on February 10th. We're going to go from here all the way across to California and come back. And we'll be speaking to schools along the way. We're really excited about that, to be able to see the country and to talk to all these great schools. We're just really excited about it.
Wow. And so you'll be with all these students, again, same kind of a thing where you're interacting directly with them. They can ask you questions, interact, and hopefully gain a lot of valuable information. That's fantastic. So good luck with the tour. I know that's conveniently happening after Super Bowl time because, what the heck? you just may be playing in the Super Bowl this year.
We hope so. Not making any promises, but definitely planning out to not have any interference with that trip. So
exactly.
We're really excited to get on the road with that and to be able to go to all these schools and talk.
We will certainly keep our eye on that as the cross-country trip happens. We'll remind our listeners that it is happening and to let folks know all the great work that you're doing. Good luck tonight with the Rams. We'll talk to you again soon sometime.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikki.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having us.
We really enjoyed it. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.
You've been listening to the RV Advisor Podcast with Tom Alexander. This podcast is produced in association with Studio Alpha and Alexander Productions in Miami. Visit thervadvisor.com for more.